on the floor of parliament. Just say the beer Ghana had yet asem fufro. And yeah, chaos of pa yeah. The minority caucus no, but to push. Just say more government business. Now, aha, and yeah, they just on the Pandai seat, yeah, they bro. I had Island TV Plus, and your first time ever says over like and share, not subscribe video, na from so, enya a year video ni be ashe. Now, let me give you a little bit of background about the Pandai seat. Pandai seat, 2024 elections are you call a in fact, Enra Echi, and exactly 1 year Ghana for a co-post, and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Say on Samra, no matter what you may do so, as Ghana for your man penny. Now, Anna Pandai a parliamentary seat. Martin Yindam, on the NPP parliamentary candidates, or ne Daniel and Salah, or the NDC parliamentary candidate. Ekosi akan. Now, I can't see anyone. You na easy declare Martin Yindam on a NPP parliamentary candidate say one wedding kunim. Inti will be see the man for a 9 our parliament. Now on December 23rd, which is 2024, Anna Daniel and Sola a petition the High Court our Temale say 41 polling stations and you may be ankosuye pink sheet figures CBR ya try any some processes any procedures be ankosuye and the High Court in in fact for over a year near. So I'm just wondering why did it have to take so much time? I feel like almost a year. 80 November last month, 24th, Anna Tamale High Court a year ruling. And annually the entire election. Just say there should be a rerun. Now, way about ye, and yet a month for what you basasa. Now, there are some procedures when it comes to a year by election and I say election rerun. In a case like a year the Pandai seat, on there are parliamentary procedures. It is a court Emma ruling. Say CTB and since I'm home in the entrance in near parliament and say the clerk to a parliament, a crata at the command the electoral commission, which is the electoral commission, which is the chairperson of your command. Say an accord a ruling aba and the seat way a vacant. Na ansana easy ebeje a crata na parliament so edi hun komodada. In fact, so near Yedi Hunko here, the Pandai City. After say court a ruling, which is November 24th, I'll do ruling by so annually the entire election, Anna Parliament a debate and of course, say Yema a ruling Miss Anua in legal terms, a very big stay of execution. In the Ghana Constitution, a mandatory for a 7-day automatic a year stay. Just say court a ruling no and yet a honumuna and you be declare seat is vacant. No, there is an automatic 7 days be ebetum. It's between 24th of November 2025 and then December 1. NIS has 7 days now automatic seal of execution, I apply. And even in Parliament, a year honorable Samana Backben, I can want them say until that seal of execution, that automatic seal of execution, elapse, there is no way about me declare a seat vacant. Now within that same period, Ghana had Ghana election petition there. One of the interesting proceedings here. So Ghana had no energy politics. In fact, you should be very interested in Ghana in Parliament. Samukaya 2020 after elections. Now Ghana, the first time Ghana hang Parliament. NPP had 137 and NDC 136. And it was closely contested. Now, Samakaya, Ahemkra, or Tam ballot boys being what did yeah. A similar case now, CC and air witnesses. So within that same period, November 24th, and then December 1, Satamana, a year seal of execution, so automatic one, a nyanso. So the NPP, FILA, appeal from any seal of execution to the High Court. Say, court ruling, no, on fa or monsa entry. So, that mandatory a year declaration of the seat in vacant, no, and ka so. But court enfa ruling mine, and the twist, no, and it said court enfa ruling my on that a year still of execution, the NPP minority caucus FILA, no. And the issue now is now there is an automatic still of execution. And within that same period, NPP finally another stay of execution. Say, sad decision to declare the seat vacant. Now, in fact, on the floor of Parliament, Nkrumah, Honorable Anodon on a chief minority whip. Oh, sorry, and was say, Sadia Noa, Airport one of the Enyadia of what to say. Enti omon penny na parliament chese ento kwa chese nyase kuwa da enra de eye majority leader Hassan Ayarega Mahama Ayarega aish na I chese esre kura keke omo se omon penny eye the minority caucus say omon penny ana honorable eye Mahama Ayarega nse hwe mutu mutan government business ever koso na eno ena ni omo ye se wo mpire dia ukurom eho na sebi entokwa ekoso enti ko ukurom na entokwa ekoso no hwe na yempata na wo de oye na hande just digitalization ana wo ye MP a oye digital MP in fact eno a dede ana ekoso ewo the floor of parliament na enya semkuba we will hear some of the scenes from parliament. A very interesting scene.
My gun is in my car. I can't smuggle it. Baku is burning. Baku is burning. Baku is burning. Go to Baku. 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 Baku is burning.
Enti aye ebra na je say wantwi kakra yampene ene go back to your constituency ni ade ekoso no na after the commotion in fact government business and after the commotion and Honorable Oppong Nkrumah, he happens to be the MP for Ofuanse Areni. Ye interview no was say NDC for eba bemu. They had ne ono na friend no pre-advertised agenda. So Ombe Chief Justice, and of course, Chief Justice, ye na free ho. They had another pre-advertised agenda. Say, EC Chair, James Sanso, Ombe na free ho. Currently, so there are petitions. The removal of EC Chair. According to Honorable Oppong Nkrumah, NDC for now, now I say what they are currently doing in Parliament, and they say they will have near overwhelming majority. So they be able to near or no Honorable Oppong Nkrumah the constitutional amendment. So I'm just asking, say, well, what a young case in Intonchen. If say constitutional amendment on Bayano, something that would benefit the country. Well, aside sir proposition a man for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama should go for a third term. No, I don't think that it should be an issue. But well, in their opinion, also say and something that would be good for the country. And he was when you have a premeditated agenda, and he said some also made there any almost in fact, na any other papa. And he after the commotion in Parliament, and some Nibia, honorable Oppong Nkrumah.
In this instance, before the NDC came to power, there was a pre-advertised agenda to get rid of the Chief Justice. And it's been covered with procedure, and the Chief Justice has been ousted. There's a pre-advertised agenda to get rid of the EC Commissioner and her deputies. It is being rolled out, petitions, and then they will say, oh, it's procedure. We are telling you, if you still don't believe it, that there's a pre-advertised agenda to ensure that there's an overwhelming majority in this chamber for the purposes of constitutional amendments. It is coming. And what we can do is to stand on our feet and to draw Mr. Speaker's attention that he should not buckle to any pressure that is being put on him to declare the seat vacant, because he has already made that ruling. No amount of pressure should be brought on him.
Finally, as a caucus, you have made your point clear through your minority chief whip that this particular letter should be withdrawn. Now, per practice, we know that once you make that submission, we should hear from the other side of the house. In this case, you are opposed to hearing from the majority. We do not know what exactly he's going to say. Why don't you just give him a fair hearing so that we know the way forward?
Procedure is being used to perpetrate injustice in this country. So what they are seeking to do is to cool down the temperature and normalize it with a long discussion and then tell us that we can go to court if we don't like it. We need to let people understand that this is a political chamber. And all the tools of the trade are available to us in this political chamber. Now, if injustice is being perpetrated of this nature, we will withdraw cooperation. So what we have done is to withdraw cooperation. And prior to this, we have been cooperating. Every single report that comes, we support. We are working towards appropriation on the 19th. There's no business that we haven't supported. We are minded to support the government business to go on. But now that they have elected to put a spanner in their own works by trying to use instruments of state to snatch this seat from us, we are left with no choice than to suspend cooperation. We have a lot of respect for Mr. Speaker. We wish we didn't have to do this, but they are leaving us with no choice than to withdraw cooperation. Look at.
And what the two say, yeah, so I hear, minority caucus, you are cooperating all this while. Government business be an cooperating, say Ebekoso. But on this particular issue, there, or say they are hiding behind procedure. Send a bear. Perpetrating at the bonnie, and this are not dear, and now they are the minority caucus. No, one of every. In fact, on Joy News, Anna, a year marching in Dama, and also he happens to be a year the MP for a year Pandai constituency. Currently in a year battle, a year in the case in court, no, which the Parliament has declared vacant. No, well, and also on your interview, no, or cassette. Omo ni aje say ni seat no ye declare ni vacant no ni pa no wo say ma ebi ntu obi a ebi say akanfo obebi ogugu entro wada se tua yonko ho a usi etua biam en say me nya o family member de eye aba ye de botachi no ye de beto da bi no so ye de be wo ba nti ono de on can read a bad precedent and no man yes it mum yentie a year Martin Yindam or no the NPP parliamentary candidate for Pandai constituency on so nsem ni bia okay.
It's a good morning to me.
It's a good morning. Okay, then I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Yes. There are people today that cannot hear, they cannot see.
Yeah.
Okay. They are preparing them to bury them.
Okay.
Even their relatives, if you say good morning, they will respond.
Okay.
Although the dead body cannot respond.
Okay.
My friend and my colleague sitting down there, I pray that one day what has happened to me does not happen to him. If it does happen to him, he will appreciate what is going on.
Okay.
You see, you can sit down and spread and say all manner of things because you are not found in that particular position. You go into an election and you win your elections. All candidates admit that they have their pink sheets. The results have not been tampered with. And then a government is in power, and at the end of the day, they said that there are irregularities. And because of that, they should cancel the whole election. One day, I pray that this president doesn't stay. If he does, I doubt if there will be an MP in Ghana or any elections can be won in Ghana. We all witnessed the petitions that went to court, both Nana Addo Akufo-Addo and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Then the second time, His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo and then His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. We all saw the rulings of the courts. We all heard it loud and clear that elections are won at the polling stations. And there is no way any irregularity can annul any resource in this country. But if today it is my turn, and he thinks he's so happy that, and speaking that the irregularity affects the entire resource, that is where he can speak from, because he's very comfortable in government, and he thinks that he can't see anything, he cannot hear anything. Somebody goes to the court and talks about 41 polling stations. Even those 41 polling stations, I can tell you without any fear that nothing untoward happened. Nothing untoward happened. It's just that today, the one who speaks the truth is not there. And if you go to talk about something, they say that you'll be held for contempt. You'll be held for this. You'll be held for this. How can somebody vote for presidential and not vote for parliamentary, and then you say that that particular polling station, there is an irregularity, and the court accepts it? That I verify to vote through election. So the PVD machine carry maybe 500 people, and then you come and take the parliamentary elections, and then you have about 499, and you sort that particular police station that there is an irregularity. Jesus Christ. Like I said, I'm very fine. I am so fine because I am not troubled. We've not cheated in this particular election. What I've realized is that there is a government that is so strong, and whatever they want to do, they will want to do it. They don't care whether you are right or you are wrong. They won't respect any law in this country. Whatever they want to do, they will do. So be it. Who am I? I'm just an individual. There's more powerful people, more known persons, people who can break the ice. They are suffering. How much more somebody like me from my village in Kumidi, whose father is a poor farmer, you don't have any friend, you don't have anybody. I bring this to you, what can you do? You can't do anything.
So Mr. Hindam, I know that on the day the judgment was given, your lawyers filed an appeal and a stay of execution. Is that right?
We did everything. We filed the stay of proceedings, just like you have said, notice. We have filed notice of appeal. He promised the judgment was going to be Friday. We went, the judgment was not ready. Monday, 2:30, the judgment was ready. All those things were done and properly filed. Copies are supposed to be sent to the appropriate places. Those copies have been sent, and Parliament has duly been sent. I heard him talking about we now running away from the original matter and moving to Gazette.
The way Martin in down, I heard in 70 year kind. Now, near my case, when you are interesting, and I say the LPP for is to say there are precedents. What you say, in fact, say Oshe a year Ablekuma election, 2024 elections, yeah, Sancho Kofi 2024 elections, yeah, Anna Akwetia 2009 and 2012. Similar incident is here. So, you try to easy. Say a particular seat has been declared vacant. Anna, the party are now opposing the ARPL, and of course, still now around echo so. But the MPP for no NTS and say, and then there is an appeal for stay of execution. Now still no more person mo to aso na mo continue with the procedure. Omo de omo nti ase ano no. Enti omo say omo ntena ho anya hwehan ema NDC for no enye ni omo person omo ye no because they have an overwhelming majority. In fact, ye bet to aso na case no ni besi bia aha. Ye san de bebre mo. Island TV Plus. Just ni na aha na onsa beka no. Oba subscribe video no na wa share na wa subscribe na wa like it so that be afufro so ebenya bi ahwe e de amaye notification nso say umia video bi e be upload bia na onsa ebeka na watimi ahye ama afufro so enya bi ahwe